In this video, I am going to do a review of Anywhere Elementor Pro. Yes, the Pro version, which is for Elementor. Hi, my name is Adam from WPCrafter.com, where I make WordPress videos for non-techies. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I wanted to stop the video before it even gets started to give you a quick update. After making this video, I reached out to the developer, Anand is his name, and I talked to him about a lot of the limitations that I saw with Anywhere Elementor Pro, just to get his take on it. And it was a good conversation, and I learned that some of the things are limited by Elementor, and this is the situation you find yourself in when a tool like this is put out by someone that is not the actual developer of the page builder. And so that's where some of these limitations do come in from. And some of the other things that I pointed out to him regarding the back-end WordPress editor and some of the polish that I think should be there, he listened, and I think he's going to implement those changes. And he also said he will participate in the comment section down below. And on top of that, he's also going to put out a roadmap. One of the things that I strongly urged him is to consider if it's even possible to have this thing called field connections, and he's going to explore that. However, I wouldn't put too much hopes in it because it might be something that the core of Elementor needs to change. And that brings us back to the whole thing that maybe some add-ons are best left for the main developer or the parent developer, whatever you want to call it, to create, and not a third-party developer. So with that, I'm going to bring you right back to the video. But I do want to preface by saying a few things. I do try to keep things very positive here on the channel, and that means when I release a review video, I try to only stick to the videos that I'm probably going to have something good to say about it because I genuinely like it. I don't want to review everything because if I know I'm going to not like a product, I'd rather just not make the video because I don't want that negativity. Now, it's different here with Anywhere Elementor Pro. I am going to tell you this is a product that shows promise. There are some problems with it, and I'm going to talk about that in this video, but I don't want to be negative on the product. The developer of this product is a big contributor in the Elementor community, but I am going to review this because I've been asked so many times, and invariably the reason that people want to know more about this product is because of another product called Beaver Themer. So essentially, Beaver Themer is very unique in that it came out and it allows you to create blog post templates or a post template for any type of custom post type, and you can pull in custom fields, and you can also create custom headers and footers. You can display them conditionally, and it does a bunch of other things called theme parts and all of that. Well, Anywhere Elementor Pro, and I don't know if the inspiration for this was from Beaver Themer or not, but it is attempting to do a lot of the same things. Now, I use Beaver Themer personally, and I'm very experienced and well-versed in using Beaver Themer, so I might have kind of a bias in this review because I know what that has, so it's easy for me to see what this does not have. So that is kind of where I'm coming from, but I don't think I'm the only person coming from that. I get asked almost every day on my YouTube channel here in the comments, someone saying, hey, is there something like Beaver Themer for Elementor? And Anywhere Elementor Pro is the closest thing to it. So I'm on their website right now, and let's just scroll down, take a quick peek at the cost. So it's very affordable, as you can see. You could get a single site license and it's only $25, or you can get an unlimited site license and it's $99. That's a very good deal. And if I scroll down even further, there's some frequently asked questions right here. There's even a renewal discount. So when you comes time to renew at the end of the year, you get a 50% discount. So it's a very affordable product. So that is the website. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the version I'm going to use in this video, and it's version 2.1. Now it is a beta version, so I'm going to know when I'm walking you through some of the things that maybe it might not be working right because it's a beta version. So just keep that in mind. But each time they release a new version of Anywhere Elementor Pro, I do have to give it to them. They are making improvements to it, but anyways, we'll get into more specifics on that. But this beta adds the ability to do archive pages, 404 pages, and some other things like that. And it also adds compatibility for Elementor 1.5, which is coming up. Let's take a look at the documentation, or what documentation is there. Now, most developers will tell you they like to develop things and they hate to document them, and that is going to be what you're going to come up against with Anywhere Elementor Pro. It's very slim on the documentation. Now, they don't do that because they're hiding anything. They'd probably do that because they are busy and they don't have the time for it. However, I think they would be wise to invest some time and some money, number one, in a website facelift, and number two, in some quality documentation, so that when people buy the product, they'll actually know how to use it. And this documentation is actually new, but they are, getting there. They're working, they're trying to get there. So anyways, let me show you what I have installed here by going to plugins. I'm using the Astra theme. It's a fantastic theme that's designed to work with any page builder, and it's also going to probably be the fastest theme that you have ever used. This is what I have installed right now. I put Elementor, and I'm on the release candidate for 1.5. I also have Anywhere Elementor Pro 2.1, the beta, which I was just talking about. I also threw in advanced custom fields. This is a plugin that allows you to create custom fields that you can put data in, and then ideally you can position them wherever you want in your template. I'm going to show you that as well. And I also threw in WooCommerce because that's one of the features of Anywhere Elementor, is their WooCommerce modules. So that is those right there. Now, when you install and activate Anywhere Elementor Pro, it'll prompt you to put your license code in, and it's going to add this new menu item right here, AE templates. Let's go ahead and click on it. Okay, so now this is where things are actually going to start for me. I've been playing around with it. I've already created 2 templates, and it's possible that some of the frustrations I have is because of my lack of experience with the product. So I'll be the first to say that there might be some gaps in my understanding of how it works, but it's not my fault when there's not good documentation to cover these various features. Now, as I talk about and show you things and I point out flaws, I'm really pointing them out for the developer to hopefully think through adding those. So basically, I'm not discrediting Anywhere Elementor Pro. I'm more saying I hope that the developer, if he's serious about this product, will really think about adding these features in, because they're very needed. So essentially the way it works is you're going to come in here, you're going to click on Add New to create a new template. So you would give it a name, and it shows this meta box. That's number one of my complaints, and this is going to be a reoccurring complaint, is that there's a lot of polish that is lacking in the plugin, and things just don't make logical sense because of this lack of polish. So for example, right here, if I'm going to make a template and that template's going to be designed in Elementor, why show this meta box right here where I can start entering in paragraph information and all that, and it takes up all this space? I don't understand even why it's there, and it probably shouldn't be there because it serves no purpose, and it would be very easy to remove. So you would go here, you would give your template a name, and then right here it says render mode. Now to me, render mode makes absolutely no sense. So this is a place where some different language could probably be used for it to make more sense, but essentially this is what you're going to choose what you're actually creating. And so it would be this 404 template, a normal template, a post template. This would be for a blog post or a custom post type or a WooCommerce product page. An archive template right here, and a block layout. I'm not positive on everything with the block layout. That's a new feature, and I won't be going into that in this video. So for example, if we choose post template, then we get these new options that reveal. So this is another thing where it's not super clear what it means by preview post ID. Okay, I think this, actually I can't even say what that means. And there's no like tooltip where I can hover over and kind of get an explanation of what that means. Now, if you do go to their documentation on their site, they actually do have something right here that says design a layout for a blog post or a custom post type archive, and it tries to explain these things, but it doesn't really do a great job of explaining these things, in my opinion. It's a situation where you have a developer trying to make documentation when maybe they should have a writer that can write things in a very clear manner. So, and like I said, these are all things to improve. Okay, so you would choose that. And then right here, you would choose the post type or what you want to apply this design to. So it's either going to be posts, pages, or products. Now, if I didn't have WooCommerce installed, it wouldn't even show products as an option. So what this is doing is it's seeing your custom post types and it's given them to you as an option, which is nice. And then there's this checkbox to auto apply. So that is, and I'm assuming that makes this a global template for that post type or custom post type. So you can just go ahead and check. Now there is this option here to create rules. I do not understand why it's not working for me. I do believe that this is because it's a beta version and I'm not getting the rules. However, for you, it would show rules, and this would be some logical rules to apply this template to posts, maybe based on a category or something like that. And if I am getting that wrong, I will add additional information down below in the video description box. So this is how far we would get right here. Let me just go ahead and give this a quick name. There was that quick. I named it quick name actually. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on publish. Now right here, it's going to generate some stuff here in this meta box, a short code and PHP code. Now I do understand why that would apply in the normal Anywhere Elementor. Maybe that's there because of the normal Anywhere Elementor, which is a free plugin, not the pro version, where you might want to create something that you put at the end of a blog post or something along those lines. But it's not clear if I'm making a post template, why would this even show? And I think this is where it doesn't have the polish. I think if it should know if I'm selecting this to not show me unrelated options that might go ahead and confuse someone, but that's okay. I'm going to look past that one. So let's see. Let's make sure I chose posts. I chose auto apply. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and click on edit with Elementor, and it's going to pop me into Elementor 1.5. Now here we are in the blog post layout design here. Now this is what Anywhere Elementor is going to add. It's going to add this extensive set here of modules or elements. It depends on the terminology you like. And a lot of these are just the different parts of what makes up a blog post. So we have our title, our navigation, that is to go to the previous post or to the next post. That's what that is. Your post image is going to be essentially just the featured image, the content of the post, the read more button. I actually don't know why that's there. We'll have to test it. The post meta, this would be the author name, the publish date, categories, or the tags. We have that here. And then we have this field here for custom field. And I created 2 custom fields with advanced custom fields. If you're not familiar with that, I have a ton of content recently on this that I made for Beaver Themer, and the same stuff applies regarding creating custom fields and using them. Post blocks right here. Here's the author stuff. And then for some reason, it's showing me all this WooCommerce stuff. Now, it should know that I didn't choose to make a template for a product page, yet it still shows me all this WooCommerce elements. And I think this is another example of where it doesn't have the polish, where I should be able to hop in here and only see what's contextual and relevant to what I'm trying to do, not show me everything, because it could be a little overwhelming. Because think about it, we already have the Elementor elements, and then we've got row after row after row of the elements that this plugin generates. So this is something where the developer could do a better job of only showing what a person needs to see when they need to see it to reduce confusion and make the overall experience much better. So it works just like all the other stuff with Elementor. You would just drag and drop in an element. Let's give it a second. It's going to go ahead and pop up the title of a post that I created, and you would just edit this with the editing tools that it gives you here. Now here's one of the things that I don't like, and this is actually one of the biggest things I want to talk about of what I don't like about Anywhere Elementor. So right here is the problem, and I'm going to try my best to explain this in a way that makes sense to everyone. So Elementor has their elements, right? And you got to agree, every element that Elementor makes has been well thought out. It is extremely flexible, powerful. You want to be using the Elementor elements, right? I know I do. But here's the problem. If you're using Anywhere Elementor and you think you're actually going to use the Elementor widgets to design these beautiful pages, unfortunately that's not going to happen because Anywhere Elementor only works with the Anywhere Elementor elements. That's it. So for instance, if I wanted to use the heading that Elementor has created because I get more formatting options, you're not going to be able to do that. It only uses its own elements that it created. And this I see is probably the largest negative of Anywhere Elementor, and where you might not be getting what you think you're getting if you buy it and go to use it. Now, it might not be fair, but I am going to compare it to Beaver Themer, which I use. With Beaver Themer, I can use just about every single Beaver Builder module and the different modules that come from the add-on packs with Beaver Themer, custom fields, all of this stuff. I can easily use it, and that's the power of it, right? You want to be able to, you want a tool that enables you to create beautiful pages, posts, and all that kind of stuff. Well, the negative here is you don't get all the power of Elementor when you're creating a custom post type layout. You just don't get it, unfortunately. You're stuck with the features and the styling options that come with the Anywhere Elementor Pro modules. And I think this is a huge, huge negative and a huge, huge drawback. I really would like to encourage the developer to go back to the drawing board and to figure out how he can give this same functionality, but you're using the Elementor elements and the options with it. So for instance, if I wanted to drag and drop the featured image, so I can't use the photo element right here. I have to use this one right here, which is the one from Anywhere Elementor Pro. So that's okay. I click on it and let me choose a full-size image like that. All I get really is alignment and overlay options right here. And then for style, I just get a border. I don't have all of the options that I would get with Elementor. Let me just show you this side by side. So if I go here and I click on image, and let's just drop that image right beneath it. Let me go ahead and select the same image. It's the only image I have on this development site. Okay, that is popping in there. So right here, it looks similar. I get it to the option to link it someplace, which you probably wouldn't need in this scenario, or you would need if you are using custom fields, and then the caption. That's okay. But it's the style options that you're really losing when you are not using the Elementor modules. You lose a lot of these things. For instance, something that I think is amazing is the box shadow. You're not getting that because you're not using Elementor's elements. You're using Anywhere Elementor Pro's elements. And it like the hover action, all these types of things, you're just not getting. And also these amazing advanced options, you're just not getting right here, which is actually kind of discouraging. So let me go ahead and hover over here and delete this. Okay. So this is pretty much the story of all of the parts that make up a blog post and all of the parts that would make up a WooCommerce product page. You have to use the elements in Anywhere Elementor, and they are seriously lacking all of the powerful options that you get with all of the Elementor elements. So if you get it thinking, I'm going to be able to make beautiful things, you're going to make some nice things, but you're not going to get the beauty of what you can make out of Elementor's native elements that they give you. So anyways, that is that right there. And you can see the polish issue right here. Now, let me just go ahead and throw in the rest of the stuff here. So I've got my title, I've got my image. Let me toss in my content right there. And that's fine. And then let me go ahead and, okay, so here's something that is the other big point of what is lacking. So let me give you an example on my website. On my website, every blog post pretty much has a video. And then I have a transcript, and then I have the post content and all that. Well, I have a custom field for the video link. So that would be the embed code, and a custom field for my video transcript. And those I am able to link into something that Beaver Themer calls field connections. And I'm able to use those field connections to link in the custom field data into the native Beaver Builder modules. Now, this is not something that you get with Anywhere Elementor. You do not get this field connection feature, and this is part of the reason why you can't use any of the Elementor modules. So for me, where this would come into effect, right here, I don't have a video module. I would want to use the video element right here from Elementor, but I can't do that. The only way I can pull in custom field information is with this right here. I can drag and drop this in, but you don't get the formatting option. So you drag and drop it in. You have to put, it says my key. This probably just means the field name. And then I choose the type of information in that field. And, you know, pretty much this is it. Where what makes more sense to me, what I get from Beaver Themer out of the field connections, I can go ahead and drag and drop the video in like this, and then it would give me a little option right here off to the right to connect it into a custom field that is in, that I might have created with advanced custom fields or another tool called pods. So we don't get that. So this is an example of how I really don't get that full control to create these blog post layouts. I'm really just stuck with the elements that Anywhere Elementor gives me. And I think this is unfortunately kind of a backwards way of doing things, because what you end up with is Anywhere Elementor has to develop the modules and the features and then maintain it and all that. I think it's going to be problematic personally, but you don't get that full power of what you're expecting when you're doing this. And so I'll show you WooCommerce as well. It's pretty much the same story. So let me go ahead and click on save, and then I'm going to go back into WordPress. Now, I'm not trying to like trash the product or the developer. I think it's good for what it does, but you have to know these limitations so you go into it with the right expectations. So, and hopefully the developer, I mean, he's being aggressive and trying to add new features. Maybe this is already on the drawing board and he's already aware of it. So, all right. So now what I would do is, let me just show you. I'm going to go to posts, and then I'm going to click on that post I made. And what you can do is right here, it says select layout. So if I made it 3 or 4 different layouts as I'm creating my blog post, I could choose the layout that I want applied to that blog post through this drop down. But what is weird about this is, and this is that polish, it's lacking polish. When I go here, it's actually showing me a WooCommerce template that I made prior, but it knows I'm not in a WooCommerce product page. Why is it giving me the option to choose a WooCommerce product template that I just designed. So the same thing goes for WooCommerce. When I go back into WooCommerce right here, and I go into my products. Oops, I should click on products if I want to go to products. So I'm going to go ahead and click on products, and the same thing is there. It's just a sample product I created. Here is that option to choose the template. I go to the drop down, and now it's showing me options that I've already assigned solely to the blog posts. So this is another example of where the polish is not there on this. So you know what, let me go ahead and just, instead of creating a new WooCommerce template, let me just go ahead and go and edit the one that I was using so I can show you how it also has a lot of those same issues. So let's see, WooCommerce template, let me just go into it and click on Elementor and go ahead and start editing this out. So you know, for me, I'm doing a lot with Beaver Themer, and I really wish the similar functionality would come to Elementor for Elementor users. A perfect example of some of these challenges I'm talking about is, say you want a button in your blog post, but you want to use the button module that comes with Elementor, not the one you're forced to use. In this one, you just can't use it. You can't use it and then link in a URL from a custom field, unfortunately. So anyways, the same thing goes, you're in here, but this time, see, it's still showing you the blog specific elements, and even though we're in a WooCommerce page, but there's some really deep options here with these WooCommerce options. So we have the title, the price, the SKU, the description, read more, add to cart, stock status, the rating, this would be the review rating, category tags, gallery, and the tabs themselves. And you can just drag and drop these in, and it works as you would expect it. This is actually kind of nice right here to have the tabs like this. What would be nicer is if you could maybe choose a saved row or section in Elementor. But anyways, this is what it would do. There's custom option. Let's see. Maybe it does give you that option, and it's already there. But anyways, this is the same options you get with WooCommerce. So let's see what options we have, say, are for this button. So right here, we have our button. It's got me on the quantity. Oh, this is if I want a quantity box or not. Actually, I like some of these options that are there. I will say some of these have had some good thought. So you can turn that off. You can work your alignment. You can stack them up and down. That's what this vertical option is. But then when we go to style, you see we're really getting these limited options again. I can't put drop shadow on it. Things like that. You're just not getting those options. I wonder if this gives me a hover cover. Let's see. Background, border. Okay, there is a box shadow option, but it takes the box shadow and it doesn't do it the way Elementor does, just on the button. It does it on the whole module here, which is probably not what you would want. So that's another fit and finish polish is lacking with this product. Now, you can also create 404 pages. You can also create your blog archive page or archive pages in general. You can create all of that. You cannot use this to create menus or footers. I don't know if that is on the drawing board or if there's plans for that. But if there was, I would imagine it would be far out. So anyways, this is Anywhere Elementor Pro. I'm trying not to be harsh on it. I'm not saying don't go out and buy it. I am saying, though, that this is what it does, and if that meets your needs and meets your requirements, then go ahead and get it. But it doesn't have the fit and finish, and you know, there's clues everywhere that that is the case, but it just doesn't have the polish that I'm after for a product that I want to build my website or my business on. I don't feel on a personal level that it is quite there yet, that I can use it and trust it and just build my entire business on it. That's not to say that it's always going to be this way. I think there's been great strides in the developer of making this better and better. I've had it for maybe 6 months now, or ever since it came out, and he's consistently released updates with more features over and over and over again. And I think maybe after him watching this video, he might start implementing some of these things. One would hope, if it is technically possible. So anyways, hey, I am so sorry. I'm not trying to be negative or trash a product or anything like that. And I hope you don't feel like I did that in this video. I want to keep it positive in this channel on this video. So if you have used Anywhere Elementor Pro, and maybe if I've gotten anything wrong in this explanation, please go ahead and add your take down below. If I said something wrong, go ahead and correct me. I'm totally open to that kind of stuff. Just go ahead and add that down below. Or if there's some things that you wish Anywhere Elementor did and it doesn't do, go ahead and add that down below, because I'll try to get the developer over here to read those comments. So anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching.